Hello guys, good morning or good day. So I'm going to be taking a little bit on JavaScript Hamburger menu. So I have this project here that I can use. I'm going to share the repository with you on GitHub. So before going into this project, you need to at least have prior knowledge of HTML and CSS. So I won't actually bother going into that. So the focus will be on hamburger menu for that's using JavaScript. So if you want to clone this project, you can just search for that's on my GitHub page. I have it on public. Farukade, that's Farukad, as you can see on my screen. You do that, and then the init branch, you go to the init branch, and then you clone the init branch. So then you have access to all the files I'll be starting with now. So you need to know a bit about Git as well, GitHub. You need to have a GitHub account. So once that is done, once the project is cloned, this is the HTML. As you can see on my screen, let me zoom in a bit. Yes, so this is the HTML in the root of the cloned directory. And then I have the styles. I have the style of CSS. I have all the styles here. And then I have resources where I have all the icons for the project. And then other images like the background and other images I used. So I'm going to, on your VS Code, if you have your VS Code and you don't have a live server installed on it, you might need to go to the extension and then look for live server. So this particular one will actually do. As you can see, I have this is the one I have installed here. So I'm just going to close this since I already have it installed. If you don't have it installed, it means you need to click the install button. Once it's done installing, you have access to it already. So after doing that, it means when you go to your HTML page, if you right click on it, if you're using a Windows or a Mac, you right click on it, you see open with live server. This option should then be available for you. Or you can just click on this go live. So I'm going to do that. So I'm waiting for it to open up. It's trying to open up on a Firefox browser. Since I already have the Safari browser, I'm just going to quit this and then go to the Safari and then use that instead. Oh, sorry. So I know it's running on port 5500. I'm going to type that. Yeah. So I think this should open it up. Yes, this is it. So as you can see, you have it on my screen. You have a side nav. You have this icon here. You have the main, you have the background. I've already done all that with CSS. So once you clone the project, you should have all this. Yes. So right now I'm going to show you what we want to achieve. We have this icon here. As you can see, this class hidden. If you go to the CSS, I have a hidden class here. It's just display none. So it's what I use to hide some stuff. So let's say I remove this hidden from this icon, this hamburger icon. As you can see, the hamburger icon was hidden before, but now I have both the hamburger and the close together. So I can add the hidden here. And then now the close is gone, only the hamburger is left. So that's what I want JavaScript to do for me. Switch between the hamburger and the close. And then I have this side nav. I have this. If I should change this to a class of nav bar, right? I've already designed all of them before now. So if I should change that to a class of nav bar and then put this, sorry, add hidden to this, they're actually the same nav, but one is for when it's open, one is for when it's closed. So as you can see, it's going to be something like this when it's opened. So that's exactly what I want JavaScript to do for me. That's what I'll be doing in this video. So first of all, I'm going to create a folder and name it, okay, sorry, the folder will be in the roots, not, I name it JS folder. And then in that folder, I just go add a new file. I do main.js, that's JavaScript. And then I go to the HTML. First of all, I link the script, that's the JavaScript, to the HTML. So this is the main.js. I have to go from this dot, means from this current directory, go into the JavaScript directory, this JS, then select the main.js file. So as it is now, it is linked. So all I need to do is get all the items I want to manipulate from the JavaScript, those that I want to like add class, remove class. So I know the first one is this top left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an ID, like say ID of this is the hamburger, right? Say hamburger. Yeah. So the next one, which is the close icon, I give it an ID of close. So in the JavaScript, I can go here and say I declare a variable. So I name it maybe const close equals documents. Document means the HTML document dot get element by ID. I want to get the element by its ID, and then the name of the ID is close, right? Then I do the same for hamburger. Yeah, I name the variable hamburger. I use const for the variable, that's constant. There are other variables you can do, that which is variable, that's var, or let. So as time goes on, you're going to know the difference between them. Length is something that you know would always change. So you use let most of the time for maybe a scope variable. What I mean by a scope, a variable just within a particular place. You can use let, and you know that might change in future. Maybe you want the close to be this now, then in another part of the code you want it to be something else, so you can use let is actually good for that. So the var, you use var for something I feel you want to be global, you want it to be accessible from anywhere in the code. I think it's suitable to use variable for that. That's var for that as the variable declaration. And then const, if it's something that you know it won't change, it will always be, hamburger will always be this particular element, then it's const. So that's why normally I choose cons for this kind of situation. So now it means I have access to both the hamburger and then the close. So what I want to do now is create a function. In JavaScript, function is something that is a program that wraps code. So if I'm to write code or set of commands, wrap it in a function, it means the function, I can call it at any point to um, perform those set of actions, those actions within this. So anything I write here, whenever I call this function, that's exactly what it is going to do. So in order to make it simple, I'm going to have separate functions for different things. So the first thing I want to do is, let's say I have open menu, and then I want to have parameters for that. Don't want to go into that for now. So the open menu, I can say this, if I call a function, I call a command to open menu, it means I want to display close while the menu is open. It means I can now go to close. I can say something like close dots. Yeah, so as you can see, I got a little bit confused. So if it happened to you too, it's completely normal. So there are resources online that you can always use to confirm what you're doing. So this is W3 Schools. I actually recommend it. It's very, very good. It's very detailed. So actually I work with a lot of other technology. So sometimes this syntax, you can mix them up. So I'm just trying to confirm to be sure. So for this, I can do close dot class list dot add, and then the add, now I put the value I want to add. That's the class I want to add, and then I can do the same remove. I put the class I want to remove. So if I want to open the menu, what I want to do is I want to remove hidden from the close element, and then from the hamburger element that I want to add, from the hamburger element that I want to add hidden to it. So it means by default, on this project, I want it to be the hamburger on initial. So let me go set that up. So initially, I can say this, I want hidden, and then this small hamburger, I put this, yes. And then the hamburger, this is what I want to start with. So when I click that's when I want it to now open. Then this hamburger icon should change to a close icon then. So In testing that, I'm going to make this like a button. I'm going to add an on-click function to this. And then this particular menu, this function, the open menu, I put it inside the on-click, right? I do the same for this div, uh, on-click. So I'm just trying to tell it, okay, well, once they click on this div, perform this action, those set of actions I wrote in this function. So as you can see, it's actually changed. It means I can now go here and do another one for close menu. I say close menu, and then I want to reverse this. I can put remove, and then this I can put add, just to reverse the way it works. So for open menu, I want to click on the hamburger to open menu, then on the close to close menu, right? So it means this will be the close menu. So if I go here, I think this should work. Open, close. Okay. As you can see, I think there's an issue. Okay, the reason why I'm having that issue is because originally I have, let me see. Okay. So I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be add. I supposed to, the add here is wrong. That's why I'm having that error. So let's say I refresh, close, open, close, open, close, open. So this works fine. The hamburger is switching. So it's for the rest of this to open and close. So I'm still going to use the same set of functions, but I'm going to add other elements to it. So I'm just going to copy these ones down. But so the reason why I'm having this red line is because I'm using a const to declare my variable. And then normally, not even using a constant, you shouldn't be able to redeclare variable in the same scope. So I already have a variable named hamburger, and in that same scope, I'm having another variable using named hamburger. So it's going to throw an error. What I mean by the same scope is, I'm going to show you an example. So I can actually bring this hamburger inside this function and then there will be no error, because this hamburger, it will know that if I'm talking of hamburger, is the hamburger within this opening and closing braces of this function. So is this hamburger works within this scope. This one is a global scope. It works on every part of it. So I'm just going to remove it. I don't need the local, since I already have it globally. So the next element I want to get now is as you can see, I have this small navbar, and then the navbar itself. So if I do something like navbar, right? Let me show you what it is. So this is the small one. This is the big one. So I show one at a time. So I can actually say hidden, right? If I show hidden for this, the big one is showing. Then if I put the class for this one, the small navbar, and then hidden for this. See? So what I need to do is get these elements. I'm going to give them an ID. like before. I can say small nav, okay, nav bar. So the same as the class. And then I go to the, okay, let me add the other one. I give this an ID of nav bar. Okay, sorry, that's not correct. Should be a nav bar. So in my JavaScript, I can now say I want to get this element nav bar, and they name it what, nav bar. Just not to complicate things. I'm naming them. The name could be anything. You can choose any name, but it should be descriptive as well, so that you know that, okay, when you're talking of nav bar, this is what you're talking about. You don't have to be cracking your brain or going to the HTML to look for things all the time, or to know, okay, what's this? What am I talking about? So this, I'm just going to say small nav bar, and then I'm going to use camel case. Camel case means where I start with small letter, I join the words together. I start with small letter, all the words are small letter except for the first letter of the next word. So that's camel case. That's ID for JavaScript. So I now say the class small nav bar. Right. So I have all the elements now. What I'm going to do right now, yeah. So for the open menu, if I want to open menu, what I want to show is the nav bar, not the small nav bar, right? So let me copy this down and now say small nav bar for open menu, small nav bar. I want to add the class of hidden, but before I add the class of hidden to that save small nav bar, I will remove the class of small. All right, that should do it. And then for the other one, okay, I'm still not done with this. And then it means the nav bar itself, nav bar, I remove the class of hidden, and then I add the class of nav bar, right? So testing it, okay, it works, but except it doesn't close back up. So what I'm going to do for the next function is I start with a small nav bar too. Sorry, I start with nav bar for this. No, this is wrong. Nav bar, that's the variable, this variable. So I start with the nav bar and then I say class list. It means this class list means this class, here, I want to add, I want to remove. So that's what JavaScript is actually managing for us. So I say navbar dot class list dot so this is for what? For close menu dot remove the class of navbar, remove navbar, and then I add hidden to it to just to hide it. And then the other one, the small navbar, I add the class of small navbar. Before that, I remove hidden because originally it will have hidden if the other one is open. If the full navbar is open. So I'm just going to say this. I remove hidden from it. So there are many other ways you can do this. This is just using functions. So my actually maybe in another video you can use something like events listener on the JavaScript, like add event listener, all those things. So I think this should work. I can open the navbar, close the navbar, open, close, toggle. So I click this, I see this in full, and all these things I actually design them separately. This is the hamburger menu. This div here is for the close. If you open this is for the small navbar where I have all these icons. As you can see, for the small navbar, instead of using home, this I just use icons for them. And then if you want to get icons, actually, you can go to icons8.com. I think you find a lot of icons there, and you don't need to, all you need to do is search for the icons. Let's say I want something like news. Search for it. Then you see all icons relating to news. As you can see, this is the one I actually downloaded. You can just click on the icons, download it, then put it inside your HTML file. There are other ways to add icons. Might be going into that in future videos. So I think for this particular video, that's it. I'm going to push this one to another branch, just in case you want to follow, you want to see, you want to have a copy of the code. So pushing, I think you should all know how to do that, but I'm still going to do that so you see. I can open a new terminal for my VS Code. That's for my VS Code. I already have the a GitHub link since I pulled this from GitHub, from my own GitHub. So for in your own case, you might need to create a repository. Then for that repository, you link your repository to the code you have, so that you won't be pushing, you won't get error trying to push to my own repo that you cloned from. So I'm just going to do that to this. I'm just going to add the project to my update it to a branch. I can say git branch dash m. I say this, I name it I do this, and then git add, I add git commit dash m. I put the commit message. Right? And I say git push origin hamburger. That's the name of the branch. Do this. Yes, that's it. If I go to my GitHub now on that same project, I'm going to need to refresh. So I have three branches now. There's the main branch, there's the hamburger branch. So in case you're looking for a copy of the code, you see the hamburger branch, you can see the JS is part of it now. And this will be the end of the video. I'm looking forward to the next videos. Thank you.